Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and so we got some breaking news to report. Before we get to it, I made a video a couple weeks ago when this all broke about John Gruden, and I flat out said it was unacceptable. Um, and he shouldn't have said these things. And 50-year-old person, should have known better. Even in 2011 standards. But then again, he was still saying it up until he was hired as the Raiders coach, as we found out later after I made that video. So he obviously knew what he was doing was wrong, and he still did it anyways. I do not condone the actions of John Gruden. I made that pretty clear in the video I made when this whole thing happened and he was forced to resign or secretly got fired as a coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. We do not condone his actions. But what happened today was there was an announcement that John Gruden is suing the NFL. And even though I don't agree with his comments were very insensitive and very stupid, I think. I do think the suit has merit. I think he'll win it because the NFL refuses still to release the 600,000 emails outside of the Gruden ones, which does show malice because there's 600,000 emails, over 600,000 unread emails that we know nothing about, that even Congress, U.S. Congress, wants the NFL to release these emails, and they still won't, except for the John Gruden emails, which got him fired, as we all know. These are the emails that were released, but those are the only ones. As Mike Flores has been saying for weeks now, that they could release the emails, but just redact the names of the people in question, like owners or executives and whatnot. But the NFL has refused to do this. So it shows malice that the NFL specifically targeted John Gruden, that, they wanted to just incriminate him socially, and no one else. Like owners, a lot of people want to get Dan Snyder kicked out of the league, the Washington teams, force him out of, the ownership of the franchise, basically. Which is what this investigation was all about. This investigation was never about John Gruden or the Raiders or anything like that. This whole investigation about these emails, as well as the ones about Gruden that were released, was about Washington, the franchise, being under investigation for, basically harassing the Washington, at the time, Washington Redskins cheerleaders. And that's what led to this whole thing. This is why the emails were turned over, because the NFL had to investigate Washington. And so this is why this all happened, because Gruden, when he was analysis for ESPN, because this was during the time when Gruden wasn't a head coach. He was fired in 2008 from the Buccaneers, and then he went into he went into, play-by-play analysis guy for Monday Night Football from 2011 until 2017, when he was hired by the Las Vegas Raiders to be their head coach and come back into the NFL. So while he was doing these emails to the president at the time, Washington Redskins president Bruce Allen, and this is when he was sending these emails during those time frames. So he wasn't even employed by the NFL at the time when these emails were being sent. But because all these emails were being archived and they were investigating everything, That's how they recovered these emails. But yet, only the Gruden emails have been released. None of these other emails, which probably could incriminate other owners, not just Washington's owner, Dan Snyder, but other owners, other top NFL executives. You're going to tell me that there's not 1/600,000th emails of other people. If they were contacting Gruden, they were contacting owners. Like, owners always talk to each other. So it's like, owners had to have been talking to each other and saying stuff to each other, but yet the NFL still won't release these emails. So I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say whether Gruden will win or not, but do I think there was specific malice to take out Gruden specifically? Yes. I think they specifically targeted him as a fall guy. Again, don't agree with anything he said. I 100% think he's crap for basically saying that stuff, and it really sucks because I liked Gruden as a coach because he always used to tell it as it is. I like coaches like that. I don't like these coaches that are just like not doing anything and just like whatever, not saying anything. It really sucks. It really sucks to see Gruden go down, but it was rightfully so. I don't see these emails as a privacy issue though, because as people have pointed out, he was sending it to an NFL franchise, the Washington franchise. Business email. It wasn't a private email. It wasn't John Gruden sending an email to another civilian or something like that. He was sending it to a business email. Like, it was to a business email. So at that point, I don't know if that's considered private. Because you're sending it to a corporation. You're sending this email to a corporation. You're not sending it to. He didn't send it to Bruce Allen's personal email. He sent it to a business email when he was the president for the Washington franchise. When he was saying all these, racist things and homophobic things that he was saying. So in that situation, at that point, I don't know if that's exactly private. I don't know. There needs to be probably more clarity on that. But a business email, to me, I don't know if that's exactly private or not. And someone probably would have to explain that more. And, if someone, that's a lawyer that might be commenting here, or someone that's experienced in that field or through business or whatnot, let me know, because that's something that I'm not familiar with on how that would work. But I mean, I do think there's malice because the NFL has repeatedly said that they're not going to release any more emails. Like, they said this, that they're not going to release these 600,000 emails that they investigated of the Washington franchise. And yes, I know they fined Daniel Snyder $10 million or whatever, but I mean, that's nothing for him. I mean, he's like a billionaire, so I mean, that's really not that impressive, for someone like him. But I just don't know. I mean, the way this is going, I just think, hold on, guys. I just think there's some type of malice going on here that it's specifically targeting him over other people. And again, we're not condoning his actions, as we said at the beginning of this video, but, I think these emails need to be released. The NFL opened a power keg by targeting Gruden. They opened a power keg by targeting specifically just Gruden because they're not releasing the other emails that Washington sent to multiple different people throughout the timeline of this investigation. And because of that, even U.S. Congress wants the NFL to release them. Like, they are planning on trying to get an order for them to release them. I mean, that's how serious this is getting. Okay. And this suit might work because if this goes to trial, or if he can prove, if Gruden's lawyer team can prove, legal team can prove that this is a valid lawsuit, which I think it is. Not a lawyer, but this is just my opinion on it. If he can prove that and get a trial, then the NFL is going to be forced to produce this stuff in discovery. So this is something that is going to be interesting to watch to see what happens. In terms of Gruden's future in the NFL, it's pretty much dead anyways. I don't see him ever going back to the NFL. Once stuff like that happens, it's in this era of social media, you're pretty much dead in the water for your career, and that's probably why he's suing. I don't know, maybe in a couple of years he could go to college or something like that, but this is pretty much it for him in the NFL, and so he really has nothing to lose. The only thing that really benefits this for people that are going to be intrigued about the lawsuit is really to see the emails, because if this goes to trial, like I said, then they're going to have a discovery process, and that those emails probably will get released then, if not U.S. Congress forces them to get it released beforehand. But that's the one thing I like, that this lawsuit is happening, because it will keep the whole news about the emails, because that's what people want to know. They want to know about all these other emails, not just the Gruden ones. They want to know about all these other emails now. And the NFL, what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to make it die. They're trying to basically downplay everything and hope it eventually goes away, since they're in the middle of the NFL season right now, and hope that with all the great games and stuff like that, they're trying to get it to go away. This is why Mike Flores is talking about it still. Guys like him are still talking about it, because they're trying to sweep it under the rug. And that's the same thing they're doing with the St. Louis whole situation, which that is supposed to go to the trial this January during the playoffs. That's going to go to trial unless there's a settlement, which the only settlement I could see happening for that lawsuit, we'll cover that in another video, is if they have an expansion team. We'll get into more details in that in a future video, because I do plan on making an update video about the whole St. Louis lawsuit situation with the NFL, which is supposed to go to trial in January. I made a video months ago about it, before people were really covering it, and now a lot of people are really starting to cover it, so it's going to be something that I want to cover as well very soon. But yeah, with this whole situation with John Gruden, I think it benefits a lot, because it is going to keep the whole 600,000 unread, privated emails that the NFL have not released yet to the public, other than the John Gruden ones. And that's the one thing, that I think is interesting about the situation, is that this is going to keep it in there, especially if this ends up going to trial. The NFL could be on the hook for over $1 billion with the St. Louis trial, and then if this happens, this is going to be a complete disaster for the NFL, because if all these emails come out, a lot of these owners are probably going to have to resign from their positions. And that's what this is about. I think the NFL is trying to protect a lot of these owners. Not saying all these owners are bad people behind closed doors. I just want to put that out there. I know we get kind of caught up with a lot of these owners because they're business people, they're billionaires and whatnot. I don't think all the owners are secretly all jackasses, but I'm almost certain that there's a handful of them that are. Um, and I'm not going to specifically name one in particular, but you guys probably will be able to figure it out who I'm thinking of. But the only thing I can say is I'm just glad that my football team is owned by its own city. Hashtag Go Pack Go. Um, and not owned by a corporate business owner because, let's face it, the Green Bay Packers doesn't have to worry about this because they're owned by the city and not owned by a businessman. So there will be no leaked emails for the Green Bay Packers, at least for an owner. So that's the only thing that benefits my team right now. You know what I mean? But the 31 other owners for the 31 other teams besides my Packers that are owned by the city of Green Bay, yeah, you guys got to worry about some shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is where it's at right now. If there's any updates, if this ever ends up going to trial, I might cover it a little more. But right now, this is pretty much all we got is the news that Gruden has got a legal team and he is suing in Nevada, about the leaked conversations to the Post and the New York Times. I believe it was the Washington Post that got the racist email, the one that was like released on Friday about DeMaurice Smith's lip, using the stereotype lip slur that Gruden used. And then, of course, on Monday, they released the New York Times released all the rest of the emails that Gruden had said, the homophobic, misogynistic, and I think other racist emails. Yeah. And it says right here in the site 650,000 emails, not 600,000. It's 650,000 unread emails. I did say over though. In the NFL investigation for the Washington team, for why the emails were withheld for months, and that's another thing too. That's another thing. The NFL had done their investigation during the offseason, and it had concluded by June of this year, but they waited until the middle of the NFL season to release the Gruden emails, in October. So yeah, that's another thing that, he's citing, that it was specifically malice. And I do think this was malice. Even though I don't agree with him and what he said, because he was a full-grown adult. He wasn't a teenager in high school, which if he was a teenager in high school, during our time, especially when I was in school, stuff like that, you could get away with saying, like, the homophobic things and, misogynist sometimes you could get away with that stuff. That's so gay back then, no one cared back then, but now it's a big deal, and I tell people to not do that because it's very, very offensive to say something like that. I tell people, look, you're saying that's so stupid when you say that, okay? Just say it that way, okay? Don't say it the other way. I tell people this all the time. Don't say it like that because it's very, very wrong. You can't get away with that stuff anymore. It's very inappropriate in this day and age, and it should be. But I tell people that, because back when I went into school, back when I was in school, it was completely okay to do that stuff. And now it's not, and it shouldn't be. So, he talks about here on this article here, which I'll link. He talks about losing sponsorship deals with skiers and was pulled from the Madden 2022 game. I'm still surprised how they were able to do that while it was during the season, and the game was already released. Gruden seeking unspecified damages on 7 claims, as well as attorney fees. So yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Like I said, don't condone any of the actions that Gruden did, but you know, if the suit is, to me, the suit is merit. It does have merit. Because I do feel like the NFL specifically targeted him over anybody else, because I know for a fact. I mean, I don't know for sure because I haven't seen the emails, but I know there are emails in all those 650,000 emails. Okay, I know that owners and other people, executives, have said probably something far worse than John Gruden did. And again, don't condone the actions of Gruden, but you know, if you're gonna take someone else down, you got to take the other people down with you, and that's the way I say, an eye for an eye. You know, if you're gonna take down one person, you got to take them all down, and that's the way I see it. So let me know what you guys think on this whole situation. Comment, rate. If you like this very much, videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for the latest content. And that is about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. Peace.